been fishing probably just over a couple of hours. Oops, yeah, good pull on the bobbin. Oh yeah, but nothing on it. Oh, that was a bore. That was a real good pull on the bobbin, right the way up. Oh well, that's encouraging. We'll try bread again. Hi, well, I'm back on the 20-foot drain where I fished last week on a very chilly but very bright morning. The brightness is probably not good for fishing these drains. The water's very clear, but that's what we've got. After last week's trip, when I didn't do that well, I got a few tips from people here on the bank last week, and I got quite a few comments on the video on the YouTube channel, and the consensus seemed to be that I should try to feed here rather than float fishing, and the other sort of general advice was to ground bait. As I say, I'm back here with a feeder rod, and I've already mixed up some ground bait and put it in. We'll see how we go. As I say, not the most favourable conditions, but an entirely different approach this time. So not an approach I use very often, I must admit. I can't remember the last time I bought ground bait. I went in the shop and I said about ground bait, and he showed me one of the aisles in the shop, and one side of that aisle was just all different ground baits. So yeah, so I picked one and I've gone with it. So anyway, a bit more of that perhaps when I start fishing. So let's get going and see what happens, shall we? Okay, I'm all set up. I've put some ground bait out sort of on the edge of where that sort of surface weed tapers out there, on the outer edge of it. Put quite a few small balls of ground bait out there. I don't usually buy ground bait, as I mentioned in the intro, but this is what I ended up buying. Dynamite frenzied hemp seed with worm meal. That seemed quite a good mix to me. And I had some corn and hemp left over from earlier trips, so I've mixed that in with it. I've got my the rod I've got today is be careful here, I lost my thing go in the water. Yeah, it's what's called a Prodigy, made by Grays. I don't think they make them anymore, but maybe they do. But it's actually a 6-section travel rod. I didn't bring it because it's a travel rod. I bought it because it's quite a powerful rod. I've caught good fish on this rod, and basically being in 6 sections, although it's got through action, it actually it's got quite a bit of backbone to it. It stiffens it up being a 6-section rod, so it's quite a good rod for bigger fish. Not that I'll probably get any today. We've got a small cage feeder on. Just on a sliding bead there, with a little float stop as a stop, a little swivel. The main line's £8 on this reel, but I've actually got £5 fluorocarbon tied to a number 10. So we'll see how we go, shall we? I had some maggots left from last week, so I was starting off with a bunch of maggots and just pack the feeder. I'm going to try and place it on the edge of those surface weeds there, rather than do a cast, because too much of a plop. I don't know if you can see it on the GoPro, but I've got a little bobbin here. Very low tech, especially when it falls off the line. Oh, don't usually do this. What's wrong with it? Too much tension on the line, perhaps. Well, got there in the end. Now, this is probably going to be a waiting game today. It's not the sort of fishing I do. I'm usually either walking up and down a stream, dropping bait here, there and everywhere, or float fishing, which involves a fair bit of action, casting and retrieving. So sitting just watching a bite indicator is not my normal forte, but we'll see how we go. Just had a knock on the bobbin, so I started the video. It may just be small fish pulling at the maggots, which on the feeder I'm probably not going to hook. The RAF boys have just gone over as well, making a terrible racket as usual. No, nothing seems to have come of it. I'll come back if anything happens. Yeah, I think these are just little fish nibbling at it. There's nothing really positive. There's certainly activity down there, but it's actually quite warm now. The sun's come out. It was really cold early on this morning, but it's really quite pleasant now. Probably not the best for fishing, but it's certainly nice and pleasant sitting here. Well, there's not much happening on the fishing front, but I think they are buzzards up there. There's 4 hawk-like birds. I don't know if this camera will pick them up. 2 pairs circling. They're not kites because they haven't got the forked tail, but yeah, so some wildlife even if there's no fish. I've been amusing myself feeding the rudd just in front of me here. They're all small stuff, but I'm just throwing in maggots. Quite amusing watching them fight over the maggots. There's certainly a good head of small rudd in here. Beautiful fish, rudd. There's some good rudd in these drains though, not just small ones. It's just a matter of finding them. Yeah, they're all down there now waiting for more. Well, the feeder approach is not producing anything so far. At least with the float I was getting some bites, but it's a waiting game I suppose. Well, I didn't have the video on. I went back to maggots and I got a positive bite, but it's not a monster. And unfortunately I think it's swallowed it away down. Oh dear. Let's get a disgorger out. It proves the method, I suppose, if nothing else. Right. Oh, little rod. Right, let's put you back because I think you suffered a bit from that. Yeah, blood. Oh dear. I think we go off maggots. But at least there's fish down there. That's not really what I was after, but okay, I'm on bread. I'm going to try some of this attractant as well. Rub it in the bread. Let's see what happens. I'm not sure I'm going to attempt one of these tench out here, which was really what I was hoping I might do. I have been told that they're not easy to catch on bright days like this, so may not just be me, might be the conditions are not favourable. The sun is going quite low in the sky now because obviously this time of the year, and so although it's a clear sky, the actual brightness will diminish soon. We'll see as we go into the afternoon. I've been fishing probably just over a couple of hours. Oops, yeah, good pull on the bobbin. Oh yeah, but nothing on it. Oh, that was a bore. That was a real good pull on the bobbin, right the way up. Oh well, that's encouraging. We'll try bread again. Well, that was quite encouraging because that was a fair sized bit of bread. I know they may have nibbled it off, but that bobbin went up very positively. So let's see if we can get a repeat performance and hook or whatever it was. The way all those little fish just went flying out, I think our pike may be back. Well, there wasn't a repeat performance on the bread, unfortunately, but just before I cast in there was an explosion of small fish on the surface, so I think there might be a pike marauding around, which is probably going to panic the fish a bit. So yeah, that was amazing. When I cast in that other bit of bread I got a bite straight away and it was a good bite. I missed it, but but this time not a touch. It may be just where the bait lands, I think. I think there's quite a bit of weed down there, and if you're lucky and you get it in the right place. The sun has now effectively gone behind some hedge behind me, so it's not on the water anymore, which may improve matters a bit. As I say, this bit of bread's being studiously ignored unless it's come off the hook. Perhaps have another cast and see what happens. Get a bit more ground bait down there in the process. Well, it's really weird. When I changed the bread a little while ago, I had that really positive bite straight away, missed it. I've now had about 4 more casts with bread and not a touch. Absolutely weird. Yeah, I thought the sun had gone down, but I was wrong. It obviously had just gone behind the cloud, so it's still quite bright out there. Yeah, not a tremor on the bobbin since that positive bite. Well, in desperation, I've gone back on maggots. I'll probably end up with a small run again or a perch. But the bread seems to have stopped. Seems to have stopped performing. To be honest, the bread only really performed for a very short time. Dragonfly, contemplating whether to land on my rod, I think. Oh, finally hooked something on maggots, which feels a bit better than a small rod. Oh, it looks like a good perch, actually. Yeah. Oh, come out of there. Well, that's a nice fish. It may be my only one today. Let's put you perchy fin up, shall we? Have a look at her. Alright, let's put you back because I've had to dig around inside you a bit. Knock me rod rest over. I've been putting that feeder out there now for about 3 hours every cast, and I'm sure there's enough ground bait out there now. I'm not sure there's enough fish out there to consume it, so I've changed to a light bomb ledger, and I'll stick on maggots if there's some nice perch around. Let's see what happens. Oh, good bite then, missed it. Oh well. We're getting bites. A bit of a nonsense, isn't it? All tangled up. I've just thrown the remainder of the made up ground bait in, because I probably won't be staying too late. Still got maggots on, getting the occasional touch, but nothing really very positive. Might even be lime bites actually, with all the little ones darting around down there. Oh, the bobbing's having a go. Let's hope it's something. Just a little knock on it. Let's see if it develops into something else. Maybe just small rod, attracted by the ground bait perhaps. Sort of pulling at the maggots. I don't know, it's still bobbing around. Or it could be a perch, just testing the bait, so to speak. The bailiff just stopped by in his car, chatted to me from the top of the bank in his car. Said he fished here the other day and had a lot of fish out. The strange thing is, he said he was using a waggler, and I had intended to try a waggler today, but then the sort of consensus was that the feeders are better bet on these trains, so I don't know. I'd actually set a rod up with a waggler, but and then changed my mind. So I bought the feeder. I'm just now on a straightforward ledger. I must admit I prefer watching a float than watching a bobbing. I think there's more chance of hooking the fish as well on a float. Someone did point out to me the only problem with a waggler in this deep water, I mean, say, I think it was about 12 foot here when I plumbed up with the float last week. They said the only problem with the waggler is that obviously when it's that deep, you can end up with the float sort of hitting the rod top while you're playing the fish, because you've got so much line between the float and the hook. And last week I had the rod was over 14 foot, so it didn't matter. But I'd set the waggler up on an 11'6" rod, so that could have been a problem. So anyway, the thing is, I decided to come here with this feeder set up, and it's not been great really in terms of bites. I've got a lot to learn, I think. The bailiff said the rain yesterday may have put them down. He said the rain can affect this place. We had, I don't know about here, but I live about 10 miles away. We had a right thunderstorm last night. So that might be a factor, I suppose. Anyway, I'll stick it out a bit longer and see if anything happens. It's interesting, he always turns up about just the time I'm thinking about leaving, which might be the solution, really. Fish into the evening rather than fish through the day. Well, I think I might call it a day. I haven't had even a tremor on this bobbin for the last hour. Not a touch. I've tried bread, I've tried corn, I've tried maggot. There's obviously more to this place than I'm able to understand at the moment. Yeah. I don't know. I get the feeling sometimes that my boat's stuck in weed down there. I've been pulling back some light weed on most retrieves. Perhaps I should be fishing the centre of the swim and not to the edge, I don't know. But I've had some bites earlier on. I had a really good bite on breadflake, which really took the bobbin up, which I didn't connect with, but that was the most encouraging bite of the day, I suppose, really. I mean, say the perch on maggots was a good bite, but you expect that from perch. But the breadflake could have been anything, really. Could have been a nice rudd. But I didn't connect. So, and it's just sitting there, not even tremoring at the moment. I'm on maggot again, which, given the number of small fish in this place, you would have thought there would have been some action around it, but no. Nothing. Well, that's it, and to be honest, it was pretty disappointing. Yeah, I came with quite high hopes today. I'd taken on board a lot of tips and advice. Bought ground bait for the first time in years. But it just didn't work, did it? It didn't work. I had a few bites. I had one perch that was worth catching. It was a nice perch, but they just didn't seem to start feeding at all. I just don't know, really. This place obviously needs a lot more effort or a lot more knowledge than I've got at the moment. Yeah, interestingly, there was a guy fishing quite a way down from me. I didn't walk all the way down there and talk to him, but he left about an hour ago. So he may well have started very early rather than leaving early, but yeah, so that's it. One perch, one rudd and a few missed bites. Not much to sort of talk about, really. Anyway, as usual, thanks for watching. I think next time out, I'm away next week, so it won't be next week, but next time out I'm going to go somewhere where I'm fairly sure to catch fish, I think, because what with my sessions on the river this year and now this drain, I am really struggling this year. Well, that's how it is, I suppose. Yeah, so thanks for watching as always, and thanks to the subscribers. Hopefully next time out I may be able to show you a few fish. Until then, it's bye for now and cheers.